If the Republican primary for the presidential election were held today, which candidate would you vote for? That was an NBC survey on February 4th, and 79% of respondents answered without hesitation Donald Trump. Even though he seemed definitively removed from power after Joe Biden's election in 2020, on January 15th, the media announced the grand return of the explosive candidate Donald Trump. Whether seen as a joke or a real threat, one thing is clear: Donald Trump is probably the most controversial candidate in American history. Ironically, while he's caught up in legal battles, 47% of Americans would still like to see the former president back in the White House this coming November. So I wanted to understand why Trump, who is deeply embroiled in scandals and tarnished by a mixed track record during his first term, continues to enjoy support from a significant portion of the American people. How is it that his vulgar outbursts aren't seen as a deal breaker in a country as puritanical as America? Why do Americans love Trump so much? To understand Donald Trump's resurgence on the political spectrum, we need to quickly revisit his history. Trump is a businessman who made his fortune in real estate during the 1980s. He owns hotels, buildings, and golf courses. He puts the name Trump on everything he owns. In a country like the US, where financial success is highly valued, he quickly became a star, even having his own TV show, The Apprentice. When Trump was elected president in 2016, he was indeed new to politics, but to Americans, he was far from an unknown figure. Trump was immensely popular for his blunt speech and punchlines. In the 2016 US presidential campaign, no one was spared. His rival, Hillary Clinton, journalists, and those in power were all targets. Trump is a sniper, and that became his signature, a way to set himself apart from the usual political talk. He proudly claimed to say out loud what everyone else only thought in private. Trump cultivated the image of a tough alpha male, ready to do anything to protect the American people. Strength is ever present in Trump's rhetoric. He constantly emphasizes being the greatest, the strongest, and the best. His 2016 campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again," MAGA, became his brand, Trump's brand. His team turned it into merchandise, t-shirts, mugs, hats, posters, socks, even baby onesies. It might seem crazy, but for many American voters, this charisma and strong branding are enough to overlook his ongoing legal proceedings. Trump is a loudmouth, almost like a political guru. And like all gurus, he knows how to get attention and gather followers. By 2021, Trump had 89 million followers on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, which is huge. During my research, I came across the site Tweet Trump Archive, which tracks how many tweets Trump posted during his presidency. From 2016 to 2020, he tweeted at least 10 times a day, every day, Monday through Sunday, even while leading the world's largest power. On June 5th, 2020, Trump tweeted a record 163 times in a single day. I mention this not just as a fun fact. This strategy of dominating the media space eventually paid off. Trump created an ultra-loyal community until Trump got banned from Twitter. What was supposed to be a punishment, a public humiliation in the eyes of the world, turned into a golden opportunity for the former president. Being banned from Twitter allowed Trump to show his base that he was disrupting the established order. He was kicked off Twitter, so he created his own social network, Truth Social. Did this damage his credibility among his base? Quite the opposite. It strengthened his fan base. In a country where conspiracy theories abound, Trump has managed to maintain influence. Even though he only has 6 million followers on Truth Social, he continues to rally his supporters. For conspiracy theorists, anti-establishment figures, and the American alt-right, Trump's accusation of rape, abuse of power, or financial misconduct aren't red flags. In fact, they can have the opposite effect. This is precisely where Trump's strategy kicks in. The more accusation he faces, the more his base believes he's the victim of a grand conspiracy. For Trump supporters, prosecutors, Democrats, and Biden supporters are all fabricating legal charges to prevent their champion's re-election. But Trump continues to rise in the polls, even among traditionalists and Christian voters who advocate for the return of Christian values and a strong America. This is especially striking because Trump himself has a history of extramarital affairs and insulting women. Yet, for his traditionalist supporters, as long as the economy thrives, Trump's personal behavior takes a backseat. In fact, Trump's economic record during his presidency shows strong results, including the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years. Whether economic success comes from a single term or long-term reforms is up for debate, but the growth of the US economy under Trump cannot be ignored. Trump's controversial style, mixed legal battles, and economic record position him as a legitimate contender for the White House. In January 2024, he won the Republican primary in Iowa with 51% of the vote and made a sweep during Super Tuesday, winning in 14 out of 15 states. His supporters see him as a charismatic leader who can maintain a powerful and confident America.